Okay, the project that I'm going to show you today is a project that's made from recycled materials, and they're called Scrappy Creatures. And I learned this project from an artist educator named Lee Darter, and they're creatures made from, could be all or some recycled materials, and they can, and here's an example of it, and this is kind of like little kind of alpaca, and here's a larger one that's just some type of creature. It doesn't have to have any type of realistic creature to them. So I'm going to show you how to make them. You're going to start with these materials. You can, like I said, all of it can be recycled. So the cloth on it is actually just, we had somebody, a quilter, give us a whole bunch of material that you just cut into strips. Now, originally I was told to use these type of strips, but I found to actually cut them down smaller. This is like a 2.5 by like 40 strip, and I found that if you cut those in half, it actually wrapped easier for the kids. So if you have like a quilter, we asked for donations and I got enough for my whole class to do it. You can actually go to a material store or a quilting store and get pre-cut ones that are that size, and then you can go and look. But if you don't have somebody to donate, so you can get those if you need to. But we actually had somebody who donated enough for everything. Then you're going to have to find some findings and just anything you can find. I had just beads, trim, little zigzaggy stuff. I had some fur left over from our home ec class, some little puff balls. We used a whole bunch of buttons and beads. The kids used those. I think the most was the buttons and the beads, but anything that you could glue onto it for extras. You're going to need tape, a wrapping type of material, like a thin crochet, or if you had yarn, that would work also. Scissors, a whole bunch of Walmart recycle or bags, hot glue, or if you're working with younger people, you can just use tape again, and then wire hangers. So you're going to start by building like the base or the the bones of the animal or the creature. So you're going to stretch your original hanger to get it long, and then at the beginning where they meet up, you're going to fold to create the legs. And if you can get hangers that are easier to fold or easier to move, it's better. So enough to where you have enough leg here, you're going to fold, and that's going to create the first 2 legs here. Then you're going to fold again to create like the back of this wire spin. Then you're going to fold again to create the back legs, and then either a head or a tail. So it'll have some type of legs, tail, or head, if that makes sense. Then as they do it, they can manipulate it. They can make it head, tail, tail, legs. You just want to kind of get it to, oops, I want to come apart. It can set up like, here, let's just come out. It could set up, and you can move your head forward to where it's an animal that sets up. So it would set up like this one here. It sets on its legs and its tail. Does that make sense? Or like this one here, it sets pretty much however you can balance it. Now this one, I actually used 2 pieces. So this is that body that you had before, and then I taped another wire that had been cut down and taped it to it, so it's 2 pieces longer. So if you're wanting to do a larger piece, this is 1 hanger's worth this is 2 hangers worth. So once you have your body how you want it to be, you're going to start wrapping like the bulk, the muscles of it. So you're going to take a bag, you're going to find a corner, you're going to stretch it, and you're going to just kind of twist it so it's easier to work with. Then you're going to find a spot, get a little bit of tape, and it's easier if you have this kind of stuck on your desk in advance. And you're just going to start tape on a spot, and you're just going to roll. And it doesn't have to be super fancy. It just has to cover the wire. I tell the kids kind of to roll and cover your wire, and then if you wanted to go back and add bulk, you can go back and add bulk with the plastic later. So you're just going to go through and cover the whole thing with the wire. And this actually, depending on how they do it, can be really quick or take a long time, because some of them, they were so tightly wrapped that their animals are they're like really, really solid. And then some of them are very loose to where they're like more of a plushy animal. So you're going to go through and you're going to wrap your whole animal from top to bottom. And this doesn't show in the end, so it doesn't matter how nice it looks. Like, see if I can get this up here. But this would make a really skinny head, so I might go back later and look and see. Don't worry about making them like really solid, because once you put your material, you're gonna go back and wrap it with this loose string, and that can like squeeze up and make more structure to some, or like pull like in a nose and make it skinny or whatever. So you don't have to worry about super making this tight in areas or solid. You just have to give it some bulk. So once you have it completely wrapped, so know where wire is showing, then you're going to take your material and you're going to want to find at least 6 strips to begin with. Now, like I said, I have the smaller stuff, or I like to work with smaller because I find it easier to wrap. So if you have bought, this is a pre-bought stuff, if you have it, just go ahead and slice it in half. You're going to want to get yourself some good scissors if you're slicing in advance. I had all that donated and it was in like bits and pieces, so I had to go through and cut it down, but it didn't take very long. Okay, so once you start to wrap, this is where you're going to need your hot glue gun, because you're going to glue at the beginning and glue at the end. So you're just going to take a piece, and I would try to not worry so much about what it's going to look like. It'll kind of come to you as you kind of look at it, like, oh, you'll see the critter. I kind of tell the kids to like let it find itself, let it tell you what it's going to be. So you kind of want to like, okay, I want to maybe have a dark area here. So again, you're going to glue a little glue at the beginning to start it, stick it, and you're just going to wrap. Now I find that if you're like wrapping a body part, like where it ends, you can do a couple different things. You can wrap it over and overlap it like this, and then when you're done, get some glue and close it. Or you can actually put a little glue at the end and go over it and wrap it. And I'll show that at the next one, but I'm just going to wrap this real quick so you can kind of see how I wrap. You're going to want to make sure you cover all the material. So you're going to have like overlapping pieces of cloth. So this is probably going to end this arm here pretty good. Well, maybe not. So then you would just glue it again. Ouch, that's going to burn me. So I think I want to do this hand, and I want to show you how to overlap it on the top if you wanted to do it that way. So then I would just put a little, stick it down and have it go over, and then kind of glue it again. It's kind of just a, and then kind of wrap as I go. When you do it this way, you kind of have to glue as you go. But then let's start wrapping again. And this stuff, where it sticks up, you can either glue it down, or that will tie down with your string. I have enough to finish this side, I think. So I'm gonna wrap it around here just so it goes. And this one, I'll just show you how I would finish it if I wanted to do it the other way. I finish it like this, and then I go in and I would kind of pinch it shut. Just kind of pinch it over like that. So either way. So then when you go to a next color, you would just have your next color, whatever you want it to be. And you would have overlapping. Because you don't want to have any of the plastic showing. So next color would maybe be right here. And maybe I'm going to go down on the body. I'll come back up and get this piece here. Cover that up. I might take a little glue to make sure it covers that section there. Maybe work it around. There we go. You just kind of have to go with how you wrap. So you can't, like I said, you can't have a, I have to get this here, get there, because you're going to have to go with your wrapping. Then I can go down here and start to wrap. And I would have probably wrapped this a little tighter had I not doing it for the video. There we go. So you see how that's kind of got that there. Now, for the sake of time, I'm going to show you how to do the wrapping with the string. So once you had it completely wrapped, nothing showing, then you're going to do strings. So you're going to go in and you're going to go through and you're going to wrap, oops, this guy's losing some stuff. You're going to wrap all the way through the whole thing with the string, and you can choose many colors to here. This one, that one was really tight. This one's looser, and you're going to go through and wrap the whole thing, and this is what gives it its kind of makes everything stick together. And the easiest way to do this is to find a spot, do just a regular knot, and then start wrapping, and keep it, if you have enough to where you can just have somebody, you know, don't have to tie it off, but then you can go through and like make those tighter if you wanted to. You can be as tight as you want. See how any of those gaps, you could go in and really, like this didn't stick down, you could actually just go in and tighten it. And then you can go back. But see how just doing that, how much secure that looks compared to the other arm. You can wrap it around, go tight here, really tighten up that body. And go around here. So you're just going to go and tighten the whole body. Once you have it, an easy way to tie it off with one string is to pull yourself some extra string and create like a second string. So like this is your second tie, and then go through and tie it off in a double knot like you would. Once you have all of it wrapped, you've done your material and everything, you've wrapped it, then your time to just be creative and make your, go in, add all your extras, add anything that gives it its personality, your beads, your puff balls, your lace, your fuzz, anything like that. And then that creates your recycled Scrappy Creature.